Hello, I'm Kurt Lidke, board chair for Klamath Film, and you just watched Because We're Family, a very funny look at a dysfunctional family coping with the death of a family member in their own unique way. With us is the core crew behind the film. Thank you all for being a part of the Klamath Independent Film Festival, and please introduce yourselves and your role with the film.
I'm Angela Stern. I am the writer, co-director of Because We're Family.
My name's Tyler Meredith. I'm a producer and I played Mitchell in the film.
I am Christine Neihart. I am co-director, producer.
My name's Alyssa Rohnbeck, and I'm the producer of the film.
Oh, I forgot I also acted in the film. I played Courtney.
And we have one other. Oh, two others. Yes, Michael and Josh.
Yeah, I'm Mike Ward. I was editor.
I'm Josh Drennan. I played Dallas.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. This is a much larger crew than we usually get. It's like a big family coming together for the Because We're Family film. So my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that this actually began as a play, not a film, correct?
Correct.
So how did that evolve from one medium to the next, and how long did that take place over time?
I guess I would field that. We originally wrote a 6-minute short play. Well, I wrote a 6-minute short play back in 2015 based on the death of my mother. Christine had lost her mother at the same time. We did this little short play at the Ruskin Group Theater in Santa Monica, and then I sent it off to Samuel French off Broadway Festival and just completely forgot about it. And then suddenly, boom, I got into the festival, which was really remarkable because I think they had something like 1,500 entrants that year and they took 30 plays. So Josh, Christine, Tyler, and I all trounced off to New York and performed in it there. And we went, oh, this is kind of fun. So I said, well, it's a larger story. I'm going to write a whole full-length story about this family. So I did, and it took roots first as a play. It was performed in Denver, Los Angeles, at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, in all over the place. And simultaneously, I was working on the film script because I really wanted to make a film out of it. And we knew it had to be a very different journey on film. So what we would do when we got to the filmmaking process was we would workshop a lot of it, sit around, talk about, like cutting this, cutting that, how to make it more filmic, etc. And it is a very collaborative project, this film. Everybody took part in bringing that journey to the screen.
I think that's why there's so many people on this call.
Yes.
because in the end, I feel like all of us have part of the voice of the film, a little bit at least. And it's been, you mentioned that we're all like family, but we seriously are. We fight like family. We hang out like family. We have fun like family. It's been really an incredible experience.
Terrific. Well, and the people who worked on this film, there's a rather extensive Hollywood lineage. You mentioned this Santa Monica and then gone to New York, and some of the cast members certainly have very lengthy IMDb abounds with this whole cast and crew but behind this film. So how did this group all come together? It sounds like you'd already kind of worked together on the play side and then just sort of evolved into, let's make it into a whole film.
I'm going to toss that to one of you guys.
Well, it's kind of complicated, so I'm going to try my best, and then you guys chime in as well. I was a script supervisor. That's how I started my career in television, and then I took time off, a lot of time off, to raise 3 kids. And then at one point, I wanted to explore being in front of the camera, I guess. And so I signed up for an acting class. It was really not something that I thought I would do as a career, or just I just thought this is something I wanted to do for myself. And that's where I met Angela and Tyler and Josh. And then I'm going to toss it over to Josh. What do you
Okay, you're going to toss it to me. So I'm
I'm
going to
tossing.
drive and Zoom at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm heading into Aspen right now. Yeah, we all met at various points in our careers at the Ruskin School, and we all sort of fell in family love together and worked on various things. And this was the outcropping of that family love, I think. So we're all like brothers and sisters. Why not do a film as brothers and sisters together?
Was
I
this
don't know
the
if that answers your question.
was this the first project that all of you have collaborated on together, or had some of you in various elements worked on different things previously?
Good.
As far as
Joanne?
Well,
as far as film goes, this is the first thing collectively all of us have worked together on. Christine, Angela, Tyler, and Josh have worked on kind of some various other plays and other acting things together. And then I guess on the other side of that, Mike and Eric, our DP, who's not here, and I and some of our other crew have all worked together. So it kind of became this like two groups kind of meshing together kind of thing. So we're all from Oregon. These guys came up. Christine grew up in Oregon, but came up for this project. And so we all kind of came together to make it in Oregon.
yeah, it was really
Fantastic.
the way that all came about, where we were all sitting around and we didn't know if we wanted to shoot once the script was locked. We didn't know if we wanted to shoot in LA or where exactly this family was from. We didn't want to make it look, too California. And then Alyssa was introduced to us from a friend of a friend, and we took a meeting with her, and she knew a bunch of amazing crew that could work on it up in Oregon, and everything just kind of went from there.
So it was filmed in and around Portland. Did you have specific locations in mind when the script was being developed, or was that just good location scouting to find the right place for everything?
I mean, when I was writing it, I definitely it was different in the writing of it to where I had visualized it, but Portland had the look and the feel of the theme of the movie. Has a certain energy. There's a you get this weird fun vibe with how gray and kind of cloudy it is up there, but then bringing in like cinematographer like Eric Macy, who's so incredibly visual. You get this these beautiful colors juxtaposed with this sort of gloomier world, which I think is thematically what the film is about, is the vibrancy of family on the backdrop of loss, if that makes sense.
It's interesting that you mentioned the cinematography, because at first glance, this film looks like a big budget production. The cinematography of it comes across looking like a big Hollywood production, but the way you're describing it, it sounds like a very all hands on deck, people doing dual roles on the production kind of bare bones approach, right? So wait, which one was it?
Oh, it was bare bones. Like, let's talk about this. There was one night in particular, we were filming at the house and we were doing part of the final scene, the Christmas scene, and it started snowing outside. And we freaked out. All of us freaked out. The DP freaked out. We all freaked out. We were like, we have to try to get a shot with the snow in it from the outside. And I've never seen a crew of about, I would say our crew was maybe 15 people, move as fast as they did. And we moved a dolly outside. We moved a camera outside. We moved everything outside to try to get a shot through the window with the snow falling in front of it. And did we make it? No.
No.
Is it still in the film? It is. But we had such a blast making it. And our crew, I can't even tell you, this is one of the crews I'm most proud of, because we were so small and nimble. Everybody was chipping in every department. The first AC was helping wipe off mirrors. It was not, we're very proud of how it looks, but it was not by the way of having a huge crew, for sure.
I'm speaking for Angela Tut and I. We feel so incredibly lucky to have met Alyssa and to then have the privilege to work with the crew and Michael. We were very, very lucky.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And then I'll throw this specifically to Mike as the editor. There's always, plays compared to films, especially when you're trying to do something that has a comedic side to it. I'm not sure if you would call this film a drama or a comedy or a dramedy or mix there, but there's the famous phrase is, of course, killing your darlings. There has to be cuts to be made, whether it's a adapted screenplay or a book. The film can never encompass everything. So ultimately, what got cut from this story that maybe was a part of the greater context of it when it was a play?
You're asking for trouble.
That's a good
This is
question.
where the fights start.
Well, I actually feel like we work together pretty well. I mean, I wasn't on set, so I just got the footage. I had no attachment to how hard or how easy a particular shot was to get. So I think my first cut was actually might have been even shorter than the final cut because I just have no heart and just want to get right down to the bone of it.
Something about pace. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with comedy in particular, you really have to keep the pace moving, and there's certainly something to be said about character development and getting to know people. But if you're trying to make more of a lighthearted, upbeat story, you've really got to kind of keep things snapping, right?
Yeah. And the performances were all really good, which made it like fun to work on. I mean, that's the reason that I like signed on to it was Alyssa showed me some, I can't remember which scene it was, just some like raw footage. And I was really struck by both the cinematography and was like, oh, there's some funny performances here. This could really work. And so sort of all the big dialogue scenes were a lot of massaging and really fine tuning the timing to make the lines land. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't think any like large, appendages were cut out. Do you guys think of anything, or was there anything in the play that you had to abandon?
Well, yeah, sure. The play, obviously, when you're on stage and people are speaking most of the time to give you information, you're going to lose some of the information. And some of the critical, like relationships and things, we had to go back and go, okay, how do we clarify this? How do we clarify that in film, as opposed to it being clarified through dialogue? So there was some stuff lost. Some of my favorite jokes from the play aren't in the movie, but that's okay because it's still a play. And we gained other things. We gained other scenes. We gained other jokes in the film. So it's.
I think the biggest thing from the play to the film that's just different is that in the play there's this like very hilarious dream sequence that happens, which really works on stage. And it's a point at which they get to sort of interact in different ways together, but there's no way, especially on the budget we were on, for us to recreate that on film. So that was just one giant scene that had to be somehow taken, what does this mean, and then reinterpreted into film. And I think like Angela did an incredible job of sort of making that happen.
Yeah, but the one thing we did gain in the film versus in the play is that in the play there's no children present. They're all just referred to off stage. So we were blessed to be able to bring them into the script and have the child actors work with us. That was one of the highlights of the whole thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
That's right.
Definitely.
The cast for this film, it sounds like, again, people were taking on dual roles and you'd all had familiarity with yourselves, but there's also, a few familiar names and faces associated with this film. Certainly having C. Thomas Howell in there, a lot of people remember him from 80s and 90s. We could go down the whole IMDb of everything that he's been in. But was that a happy crew after the cut, or did folks kind of really get into their roles, trying to make life hell for each other on and off the camera, or how'd that whole cast and crew dichotomy work?
Oh, Josh was a complete jerk to me. He's a little method
He's
sometimes.
always in character.
How dare you?
Nice freeze.
Yeah. I think we had already had very familial relationships. We are not afraid to fight with each other. So whatever you see on camera, that's like that kind of thing, we can do that in real life. Anybody want to talk about the experience?
I mean, I do wonder. So Tommy came on. He entered a situation where we all knew each other and were close already. I mean, we'd have to speak to him how that felt. But he, on the other hand, is so seasoned and so professional that was intimidating for us. So, but he was lovely. So, I mean, what was the question again?
Well, the reason why I bring that up is because a film that is about family and all those little nuanced ways that you can just say something or give a look just right, where you've been around someone for so long that you know just how to push their buttons. When you're around a family, it's easy to know all of those little nuances, but on a film set, you maybe have principal photography for only a couple of weeks. So getting to know people that well, either you got to be a really good actor or you already have that pre-relationship coming in. And the family in this film is believable, that people, it feels like it's a legit family and that they've got all these years of grudges and little experiences they can just bring out at a moment's notice to just really just kind of twist that knife just a little bit more. And from an acting standpoint, sometimes that can be hard to do when hey, nice to meet you, and then 5 minutes later we're going to start shooting a scene, to have that kind of interaction if there hasn't been a lot of rehearsals and if it's not a very lengthy shoot.
Well, I think for myself, I have the least experience as far as acting goes. I think that's made me comfortable stepping into this role. Not only because I had done it on stage, but mostly because I knew that I would feel so comfortable with my fellow actors, and I did. I mean, that's so very true. It made such a huge difference. For sure.
And going back to Tommy, he's such a pro. I mean, there was a little bit of that. I don't think he exactly knew how small of a crew he was walking into and how many hats everybody was wearing. So at first he was kind of looking around a little bit, but then he got right on board. And I remember like day 2, he came down and we were about 15 minutes away from shooting, and we're all just sitting around in the living room, and he just takes over the room and starts telling these hilarious stories about growing up as a cowboy and just cracking everybody up for like 10-15 minutes straight. And we just knew right then, we were like, he's in, he's part of the family. And it all just went from there.
And I'm just going to throw this out there really quick, because I think it's a really important thing to say about actors. We are super blessed in our cast because these are really generous actors. Every single actor on that set was very generous, from Alyssa playing the receptionist to all the kids. What I mean by that is nobody was in a shot for themselves, for their own performance. Everybody was in the shot to give to the other actors so that the performance would come out of that. And that's how we all were trained. But this is really, truly in action, how good actors can be when they give to one another rather than focusing on, it's my shot. Get what I mean?
Yeah.
And with that in mind too, inevitably, with a film like this, any bloopers or pranks or behind the scenes stories from the making of this that you want to share?
We got to start with the fridge, right? The fridge.
Oh, the fridge. Yeah, the fridge is classic.
Or what do you think, Josh? Can you hear us? He's not there.
So I'll say this because this is also a producer nightmare. So we were filming in the kitchen during a night shoot, and it was the scene where Josh Dallas's character comes in and is very upset after the Halloween scene, and he busts into the fridge to grab some beers. And halfway through filming it, Josh, to be honest, I don't think he was even too aggressive with the fridge. I think the fridge was just maybe on its last legs of the handle. And he grabbed the fridge and opened it up, and the handle just went off the side of it. Now, it was one of those fancy fridges that has like the cupboard out exterior on the outside. It's not even just a normal fridge door. And it's late at night, and I know that we have to start filming again in the morning in this same exact interior, and we have no choice but to be filming there. And honestly, I was so overwhelmed with all the other problems, things we had to do, get the call sheet out, blah, blah, blah. I just was like, I'm just going to have to wake up super early and figure out how to figure this out in the morning. And when I came in the morning to the house, which to be fair was like the hub of everything, Tyler and Josh had taken upon themselves, like in the middle of the night, late at night, probably starting at 10 p.m. or later. I can't even remember.
I think it was more like 3 a.m.
Probably. Yeah. I don't remember. It was super late. Fixed the fridge themselves so that when I came back in the morning, it looked just perfect enough for us to film it in the morning. And I can't tell you, like, I was practically in tears about how grateful I was. But it's just kind of another way to say, like, everybody was chipping in, like we were all doing our part. But it still is a really funny take to see Josh rip the handle off the fridge. We almost used it.
Leave it in, but I wanted to leave it in so bad.
We just couldn't match it, but yeah.
Great. He's
Well, that sounds like that was a Mike choice, because couldn't it have gone in?
What, Josh?
I said I was going to take a little issue with that story.
Oh, you're cutting out, dude.
Yeah, sorry. I guess we'll never know the behind the scenes mystery of the fridge handle getting ripped off. Although maybe we need to blame Mike for not leaving that cut in.
Yeah.
I think the shot may actually be in there where the thing actually broke. You just don't see it happen. I can't remember. But,
I can't remember. I can't remember either if we couldn't match it because we see the fridge later. So it was like, oh, if we see the fridge, then the handle's not broken. But you might be right that we cut it early.
I can't remember.
So the play, it sounds like it got picked up at different prestigious events, but has the film been shown at other festivals? And if so, what has the response been?
Yeah, we played at Dances with Films in Los Angeles in June, and it was incredible. The reception was incredible. We had an incredibly warm audience, lots of laughs, lots of tears, all that kind of stuff. It was great.
So, what do you hope that people come away with from watching Because We're Family?
Well, I suppose everyone might have a different take on that, which is a good thing. For me, I think it's about experiencing loss and just how how family comes together, and there's nothing like that. And having experienced it myself, we really wanted to show that on film.
Terrific.
And I think for me, I want people to come away with their own, being able to touch their own experiences in life, be it with death or siblings or family, to be able to relate to it on some level. And then also really the message for me is always, you can always mend fences if the love is there. And that's what I'd really like people to walk away with, is there's no argument too big that you can't try to heal at some point.
Well, for those who didn't get a chance to chime in on that last question, I want to give you an opportunity for final thoughts to share with the audience on your experience of working on Because We're Family.
Go ahead, Alyssa.
I just think that, I think that it goes kind of back to the title for me, Because We're Family. I think everybody does things because you're family, and we all know what that means. And to me, this film really embodies that.
I just
Tyler,
felt
Mike,
like
Josh? Yeah.
I I felt like, I mean, coming at it from a little bit of a remove, it was just so clear to me that all the people involved on screen really love each other a lot, like the actors, and the sort of familial nature, like you've all talked about, felt really palpable, and so there was a real merging of subject and just sort of the actual ensemble that was making the thing, in a way that I found really touching, and like it made it really a joy to work on.
Yeah.
Tyler or Josh, if Josh is still there.
I'm here. What's your question?
Well, I just wanted to be able to give you an opportunity to share your final thoughts on your overall experience of working on Because We're Family.
Okay. Well, since I'm not moving for a second, maybe we'll actually get to say this without me bleeping out. First of all, I take issue with the story about the refrigerator. The refrigerator was not weak. I am freakishly strong. And of course, you repair something that you break. That's one. Two, yes, we had a skeleton crew, but the people that we did have were brilliant people, and they were there for the love of their work. And I think that really shows up in the movie. And my three, we did do a film before about a serial killer that was based on a play that we didn't have the rights to. So that gave us some early work. But about the film, I mean, up and down, it was a series of hardworking people and minor miracles at every turn, especially created a lot of times by Alyssa and others, that made it what it is. And I'm lucky to be a part of it.
And Tyler, you get last word.
Just to round that out, I mean, for me, it's so amazing because this journey began in, what is that, like 6 years ago? I mean, it's been so long from the time it was a short play and we were all going out to New York to do it, and it was 8 minutes long, and then it becomes a full length, and then it becomes a script, and then all of a sudden it's like we're shooting, and it's 6 weeks, and I mean, that was a really magical time, and I still look back on it with such fond memories of everybody, all the relationships that we made, and all the moments that we had, and nobody can ever take that away from us. And then now we have this awesome film that we get to show to everybody. So I couldn't be more grateful for everybody.
And
Well,
everybody got COVID as a wrap gift.
That's another
nice
story.
Right. That's the nice old cherry on top of everyone's ashes coffee. So, well, thank you everyone for this film and for joining us. Because We're Family will be screened on Saturday, September 17th at 4 p.m. in our Northern Features category at the 10th Annual Klamath Independent Film Festival, and available on demand through the end of September via Eventive. Thank you everyone for this project, and thank you for joining us today to talk about it.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Loving us.
Hear you.
You.